When changing your power PTU fluid, power transfer unit fluid, what I did is I went to the grocery store and picked up 2 plastic measuring cups. The idea is that you drain the fluid, see how much is in it, and then put the exact same amount with the new fluid. Now in the videos, they aren't very clear about the price for this. This fluid is jacked up in price to $50 a bottle. And if you buy 3 of them, it's a bit cheaper. And so that's what I ended up doing. So what you're going to do is at the very end, you're going to, when you're refilling it, you're going to pour in just the same amount as there and measure the 2 cups and then pour in the same amount back into your power transfer unit. Now, as far as jacking up the car, the best place for me, depending on your setup, was this bar going across right under the front of the truck and some jack stands as backups. And when you're under there, it's not very clear if you're not a mechanic where this power transfer unit is, but it's like right between the 2 wheels, and you have to pretty much look at other videos to kind of determine what it looks like, and then you find the right spot. And it drips all over the exhaust, and so you'll have to wipe all that up before putting it back in. But I was trying to go under the car and then move all the way forward, but it's actually a lot easier just to go from the front and back yourself in there to change the fluid. Another thing they left out in a lot of videos I watched is what you need to get the plug off, and it's just an Allen wrench. And I didn't have any kind of socket Allen wrenches that fit on, but I had lots of like the IKEA type Allen wrenches, and I found the right size for that to get it off of there. So to refill the power transfer unit PTU with the synthetic axle fluid, one of the videos tells you to take the end of the tube down way back here in the engine and get yourself, he gave a parts list. You get another tube, you get a connector and a plunger to put the stuff back in. But what also wasn't clear is just how impossible it is to get back in here to reach all this. I have to lay across the whole engine on my stomach and reach down in there, and depending on your hand size, it's very difficult to get your hands down in there to pull the plastic piece off the top and fit the stuff together. So it was quite a struggle, like 2 hours of me putting my hands down in there and scraping them on the different metal or plastic pieces, ripping my hands up. But I was able to do it, but it took me 2 hours. And so the idea here from the other video, which I'll link, is you just put the tube right here and then you can refill it. The next time you want to refill it, you don't have to go through all this problems to refill it that you did the very first time that you try it. And you zip tie it up here. But I did drop the damn plastic piece down the engine. I'm gonna have to buy the plastic piece that fits on the end again, unless it happens to fall out. I've reached all under there trying to find it. I can't find it all. So you watch a video and you're like, oh, this is so simple. But then when you actually try it, it's not as easy as the videos show, probably because they edit that part out or cut out their failures of the video as you're trying it. So here is the PTU. I've already removed the drain plug and it's slowly coming out there into my yummy measuring cup. As all the videos mentioned, it does drip all over the exhaust here, and you have to clean it up when you're done. And here's the plug for it. It's magnetic at the end, and it had all kinds of metal shavings and crap attached to it. And here's the end of it, which I don't know if anybody shows. It's just an Allen wrench that fits in here, or if you can get some kind of socket Allen wrench that fits on it. And it's kind of a fat one, not the tiny ones, and I'll show it to you. But when you're all done, what you do is you put this thread stuff sealant at the end and put it in very gently. You don't over tighten it, and you can sort of tell on this that it only went up to like the one thread or so into the red part and sticking out, and so you don't want to over tighten it or it'll crack your whole case apparently. And so it's a very slow process for the stuff to all drip out. You just let it go and come back later. And here's the tool that let me finally get it out, just an Allen wrench, and it's kind of a fatter, larger one. It's about the size of the end of one of the smaller sockets. Let me ratchets. It's about like this size. So I use this small extension to compare about what size I was looking for. And then it fits right in there, and as you can see, it's magnetic. And when you're all done, you got to make sure you put this back there and the thread stuff before you refill it. So here's the thread. Here's the bolt that you put in when you're done filling it, and you can see it's an Allen wrench. And then there's where you put the thread sealant around the edges before putting it back in. So here's the plug back in with the thread sealant on it. And then you have to clean up around it. There's still some oil for me to clean up, but then you try not to over tighten it. I think I tightened it just a bit too much, but this is my first time doing it. So here's the old fluid. It's not as black as I had expected, but you can tell with the new fluid just how much better it should be. The regular mechanics are recommending every 30,000 miles to change this fluid. The dealer Ford originally said to only change it never until the thing explodes, which I'm new to Ford, so I'm not used to the nonsense that they do, so that seems kind of crazy to me. But you can obviously tell that I'm sure the one on the left performs better than the one on the right for cooling and so on. So here it is, refilling the fluid to the PTU. Make sure you check out the original video that this video is responding to, because I watched that video and I had a ton of trouble, and I thought I'd add some more comments that might help other people. But as you're putting the fluid in, it just drains down pretty easily. Again, I dropped that plastic piece that I'm gonna have to rebuy that protects the end of the cable and the vent piece. I hope it falls out of my car and I can find it, but I don't think I'm gonna find it. Here's what I end up buying to replace the plastic Ford piece. I saw another thread where somebody did the same thing. It's called a 12 millimeter cold intake, and it's only about $6.99. I had to get on eBay because for some reason California thinks that this is some kind of emissions bypass or something, and they ban the sale of these on Amazon. So you go onto Amazon, you see, oh, all right, it gets here tomorrow, and then the shipping says will not ship to California. But on eBay, they're cool and don't have that. So I was able to get this in about 3 days. So that tube that you put on, you just put this on the top of it and tighten it up. And I haven't done it yet. I don't know if it quite lines up, but it seemed to work for someone else, so I'm going to give that a shot. And it's kind of bulky, but at least you'll be able to find the top of your hose you need to refill your PTU fluid. And my hands just got destroyed from trying to get that tube installed. It's like 6 days later, and just massive pain right here from reaching my hand in the back of the engine. And I cut it up on plastic, not really metal, but plastic, and it's like so jacked. So the problem is, though, if you use gloves, your hand can't reach through the tubes to install that, depending on your hand size. One poster said that they used their wife to reach back in there. So anyway, quite a challenge to replace this fluid, and there's no way to tell if it was successful or not, but you just have to imagine that your truck is better off now after having changed that. So please like and subscribe my videos, and I'm creating more especially focused on police interceptor utilities.